Okay, so this is level 2, and we're going to isolate the x. We're going to get the x by itself. And what makes this level 2 is that here, this is the x that I want, and there are two things that are happening to x. And it's important. This is where the thing gets interesting, because it's all about understanding the layers. Notice that x is being multiplied by b. Notice that x has got q being added to it. So we should understand that at some point we are going to divide by the b, and at some point we're going to minus the q. Well, let's look at this question over here. Here's the x, and we've got some brackets here. We've got plus q, just like we have plus q over here. And we've got b, and there seems to be no symbol here, and so we deduce that must be multiply. So we've got multiply b here, and we've got multiply b here. So again, we are going to minus q, and we're going to divide by b. Reversing the operations, once you get used to it, isn't too tricky. What is tricky is understanding the difference between these two questions, okay? Because there's an order, there's a set of layers in the algebra. The first thing that's happening to that x is that it's being it's being multiplied by b. And then the second thing is that it's having q added to it. Here, we've got the plus q on the inside, and the times by b is on the outside. So this is what I mean by understanding the difference between these two questions and seeing the layers in the algebra. So we know that we've got to divide by b in both questions, and we know that we've got to minus q in both questions, but we have to do them in a different order, and this is what people find tricky, is seeing the order in the algebra. Well, let's have a look at this one. So in order to unwrap something, if in winter you're wearing a jumper and a jacket, you go inside and if you try to take your jumper off before you take your jacket off, you're going to have a problem. So we can't be dealing with the jumper. We have to deal with the jacket first, okay? So the first thing we need to do is deal with this plus q, okay? And to do that, we minus q. Let's go over to this question. Here, the jacket, okay, is the timesing of the b, and the jumper is the plussing of the q. So before we take our jumper off, we've got to take our jacket off. And the way to get rid of timesing by b is to divide by b. Okay, now we're down to the jumper, and this jumper over here is timesing by b. We know to do that, we do the opposite. And so we get p minus q over b. And here we've got the last thing is the plussing of the q. So we need to p over b minus q equals x. Okay, well, let's study the answers a little bit. Notice we've got minus q, we've got minus q. We have got divide by b, we've got divide by b. But here, okay, the minus q is last. Here the minus q is first. Here the divide by b is first, but here the divide by b is last. We've reversed the operations properly. Let's have a look at this next question. Here I've got x is having k added to it, and then it's dividing by t. So we know we've got to take away the k, and we've got to times the t. Likewise, we've got dividing of the t, and we've got the plussing of the k. So same operations. These two are the same operations. The only difference is the order, okay? So on the inside here, we've got the plussing of the k. And on the outside, we've got the dividing of the t. Here, we've got on the inside the dividing of the t, and here on the outside, we've got the plussing of the k. Let me just draw these in for you. Okay, so we've got to take our jacket off before we take our jumper off. We've got to work from the outside in. I've got this dividing, so I must be doing the opposite of dividing, which is timesing. So I'm going to times both sides by t. I said I'm doing this in my head, but in my head I'm timesing both sides by t, which gives me y squared t equals k plus x. Well, the outside layer here is the plussing of the k, so I need to take the k away, so I'm going to get y squared minus k equals x over t, because I'm taking k from both sides. Again, I wouldn't normally write it. Okay, I just use change sides, change signs. So now we're on the inside, and the jumper was the plussing of the k, so now we need to take away. Plus k became minus k. Here we've got dividing by t, okay? So we need to times by t. That gives me t y squared minus k equals x. Well, I've just made an error. My error is that it looks like only y squared is being multiplied by t. I don't want that. Everything should have been multiplied by t. So instead of doing a block like that, we use brackets. So don't forget, when you multiply up, to use brackets if there's more than one term.